And welcome back to hour 2 of our session of Thea 2. Welcome back. This is the Nose Plays. This is part 7, I believe, of our Stribog series. And after a little bit of a break and a snack, it's time to get back at it. So, gotta quickly regather my bearings here. It looks like we were collecting some dryad wood, I think. We got what we needed, though. Let's see. Yeah, we got like 37 of that. We're getting pretty close to the max capacity here. You can see this number keeps going up. And that's partially because I put more points into strength in one of my characters, which allows them to carry a little bit more. So what we need to do now is break camp, and we're going to head over here and gather some gold, I think, and then we also have the curved game to get taken care of. Let's move on down here and get this done. We could gather some iron and some meat. Does it make sense to sit here and gather meat for a turn? The iron, probably not so much. It's almost always a good idea to gather food. Got any cooking we could do? Oh yeah, we got plenty of cooking we can do with all these herbs that we collected earlier. I do not have any vegetables left that haven't already been cooked up. And actually, I don't need to do this anymore because I was smart enough to add this over here. So this is what I was talking about in the last video. These are persistent, they stay here, and then we can add them and remove them at will when we're out and about camping, which is really helpful. Unfortunately, we're going to have to wait a turn before we can do that, but if we just wait for one turn here, that's probably good enough. Leopold's map leads you to an abandoned house. This is where the Dola who may give you an invite to the curve game is supposed to dwell. Dola are friendly demons. Go in and call out to her. The Dola demon is rare and often goes unseen, for she takes on the shape of common pets. So when you see a black cat staring at you, you suspect it is her. Tell her of the shack you met and the curve game that you will need to get into. Ah, the silliness. I do know of it, but why should I aid you? Or that notorious friend of mine who should not have participated in the first place? House demons playing cruel tricks for fun and gambling, and the shame. We have 4 different options, 2 of which are based on our party composition. Or I guess 1 is based on our party composition, 1 is based on our domain of harmony, and then the other 2 are just concept challenges. Alright, we'll go with the harmony one, because anytime there's a harmony event, I'm trying to click through that. Yes, your nature feels right. Besides, playing nasty tricks on children, I will not stand by idly, my dear. I shall aid you, because someone should go and sort those fools out. Alright, so we did get some mental blessing for that. That's cool. How will we get into the game? I will briefly grant you my ability to shift form. This way, the demons will think you are one of my kind. So all you need is this invitation. She hands you a bloody human tooth. It will show you an entrance when the time for another game comes. And my enchantment will work when it needs to. No sooner. Alright, cool. I'm not sure if this is one of those ones that just pops up while you're wandering around the map. I think it is. I've done this one enough times now. You would think I would know. We've got 2 points of movement left. Let's go ahead and move over here so we can get some more vision. And since we're stuck here anyways, we might as well gather again. And while we're gathering, we now have the ability to cook. Ooh, light bringers. This is a problem. Alright, first the adventures. So, this is part of the same Leopold quest. You were sent by Leopold. Yeah? Say, maybe I pay you and you kill that annoying twat. We both happy, eh? That doesn't sound like something we would do, so I will say no. Aw, come on. Pretty please, he's such a nuisance. Why? Why? He a stalker, that's why. Wants to get in my pants for 100 years now. So I finally tricked that tooth fairy fella to help me be rid of the idiot, at least for a time. But then you come along. So you set up Leopold. You deaf? Yeah, I did. Now you kill him. I'll give you my wand. It's good, I swear. Killing him is extreme. Is there another way? I suppose if you win the game, you can ask for Leopold to be the pawn for the next 3 years. Yeah, that will teach him. Can you tell me more about the game? Nah, that'd be breaking the rules, and I am a demon. We ain't too good at law breaking. You make your way there, and just be sure to win. And your reward? Oh, that. I'll give it to you if you win, of course. Demon deal is good as gold. One of our characters leveled up, and she is a craftsman, so wisdom is really good on her. But we also chose to make her kind of our spellcaster, and I actually have a point of mysticism that I can take. So I'm going to pass up the 2 points of wisdom for this. Alright, we got 2 sets of Lightbringers. This one is the easier one because there's only 3 of them. They do have some pretty decent stats. One of the problems with Lightbringer wandering groups is that they'll constantly harass you and sap away your faith, which then becomes really problematic. We can only interact with them typically in a faith-based confrontation when they attack us, but if we attack them, we have an option of using any of our normal options. Now might be a good time to try out this hammer. I'll have to pull that off of him temporarily. Is there anybody else that I need to re-equip? I don't think so. Alright, let's see how we fare against these guys. So spiritual challenges are pretty difficult against them, but the physical challenges I think we can do just fine. And they do tend to have some pretty solid rewards occasionally. Alina took some damage, but she's still above, she's at like 2/3 of her health, so she's fine. She'll heal up. We have increased healing recovery right now, so now's the time to take on these stronger enemies when we can. A bone shield, not very good. And an iron shield, equally not very good. We did get some mushrooms. I kind of want to get as far away from this group as possible because I don't want to lose any faith just for being near them, but I don't think there's any way we can avoid a fight with them if they move towards us. I'm not sure we're going to stay here 2 turns. We'll see what they do. Looks like they went the other direction, so that's good for us. Let's move over here for now. And then we'll move down to the gold next turn. Okay, let's get my 2 best researchers on that. We've got some meat and some vegetables now. We should go ahead and do a couple different things with these. So I have enough vegetables to do 2 of these and 1 of those, or do something like that. We'll make that a favorite. And then we can also do this. And make that a favorite. And then I can just limit this to the things that are available. We can add that. We'll get a couple of these on here. That looks pretty good. Just about everybody's busy with something. Can get her cooking for now. Or actually, I don't have anybody gathering any meat. And she's actually not a terrible gatherer, so. We're only going to be here for a couple of turns. We'll pull him off of that. Yeah, that'll work. A giant wild boar. That seems like a very big monster. He has line charge. He has bite for 27. Yeah, that's pretty scary. I think our 42 shields will make that less scary, but with 59 health, it would be difficult to bring him down before he gets to swing twice. And that is exactly what we're showing here. So we're going to resolve this manually and hope that we can use maybe the boar to soak a hit. And that will give us time to kill him before he gets to act again. So perhaps this is a good time to talk a little bit about strategy and how to use your cards to the best of your ability in these types of combats. I am still very, very much learning this system. So anything that I say is just speculation as to good strategy. It's not necessarily actual good strategy. One of the first things that I would suggest is that you're going to probably want to put ranged characters down early and in the corners. And that just allows you to make sure that you're putting your frontline characters in front of the right targets. For example, if I put this guy down without a target directly in front of him, the enemy AI can avoid letting me use him effectively as a blocker. But if I put her down, if my options are between him and her, the enemy has to make a choice. They either put somebody in front of her and limit who she can target, or they leave her space open, which means I get to choose my target when her attack goes off. And it also gives me a little more flexibility in where I put my characters, my other characters. So I'm going to go ahead and put her. Now we also have this ghostly axe. I don't remember what kind of armor the boar had, but it had almost 60 health. Ghostly axe could be really, really good. I'm going to go ahead and put this down first. Okay, he only has 5 armor, so it's really not that great. Alright, so we want to make sure that this very first attack gets eaten by the boar, which is his character card. So he has this boar attack. We want to put the boar here. That way this 35 damage will get soaked by a minion that is inconsequential. His second attack, we'll want to make sure we put this guy out because of his 42 shielding, which allows him to absorb a significant amount of that damage. Now the one thing I am concerned about is line charge. Line charge is a big deal because he'll hit 2 people with it. One other thing I could do is I could use Hunter's Mark to bring his attack down a little bit, but I think the most important thing is to get enough damage on the field that we actually kill this thing. This guy's hammer attack is going to be critical in pulling that off. This 22 damage hammer attack has an AoE, so depending on how he stacks the rest of his boars on this front line, we could hit as many as 3 targets. We also have some spiders. And the spiders might be another great way to soak some damage. I think what we're going to do is we're going to put her down again. And I'm not going to bother with this ghostly axe. I'm going to go ahead and use this attack here. Okay. So now he's put down 2. I need to make sure that I save one of these next 2 points for the boar, which means I could use the other point for his hammer attack. That goes off at 15.8. Let's... What are ability again? Brotherhood of Blood. Lowers delay, increases. So we want to get as much damage as we can before 15 seconds. This attack will probably do it, because that's going to be 66 total damage. But it goes off at 15.8. I think I know what I'm going to do. Alright, so we're going to put that there. then I have Hunter's Mark for 1 point. Or I have her ability, which reduces delay on somebody. No, that's not going to help us. She's the one who has Mass Lullaby. Increases their delay in a swipe attack. We'll want to use this one next turn. So that means I can put him out. And then I have my two, my delay and the boar. Yeah, so we'll put him here. Okay. Now, we use her swipe attack for the delay. And that will hit all of these. Or at least it should if I'm reading this correctly. Yes. And that should move his attack. Yeah, so see, this boar's now, instead of attacking right before the hammer blow, attacks right after the hammer blow. And then we have his ability to put down the boar to block. There we go. I'm gonna lower this. There's a little slider down here that adjusts the speed at which these attacks take place. So you have, it looks like 4 settings. Yeah, we can increase or decrease that as we need to. That's almost too slow, so let's put it here. Alright, so that first attack kills the boar, does splash of damage to nothing, and then our hammer attack does a lot of damage to the boar. Very good. That's exactly how I wanted that to play out. So as you can see, we took no damage instead of having serious injuries. So this was a situation where our use of the boar and some of our other special abilities plays out differently than if the AI just calculates it based off of the flat damage and health pools of all the characters. And a couple characters leveled up. She's our gatherer, so we're going to just keep putting points into gathering until it's mastered. She's getting really close to that. I think there's only 2 more points of this before she's topped out in that ability, and then I'm not sure if there's a new one that unlocks or what. And then Baska, this is our new child. Well, we have some decisions to make here. We could put points into strength, perception, or wit. If we put points into strength, there's a good chance that she could become a warrior. And having 2 warriors would actually be really helpful, because then that gives me 2 characters that can wear pretty heavy armor and soak hits. So I think I would be okay with having another warrior. So we'll kind of semi-send her down that path in life. What else did we have to get done around here? Alright, we're out of these ingredients, so we can't cook any of those anymore at the moment. He's the best cook, so we'll just put him over there. Both of these can gather in 1 turn, so we'll do that. And this will complete in 1 turn, so we'll do that. And then the other 2, I mean, I can just put 1 there and 1 there. It probably won't help any, but one thing that I'm not certain of is, does this action provide more XP than if she just sits here? So if she actually spends a turn gathering, do you get more XP for doing that? I don't know. I'm not 100% sure how XP per turn works. That's something that I might have to investigate at some point. Alright, we can fight the bugs. We're really good at fighting bugs at this point. And summertime grants extra XP for gatherings. See, I wonder if gathering normally grants some amount of XP. It must, right? Man, we got a lot of cooking done. Alright, so now there's this other party, and I think we should be mostly healed up now. Go to equipment real quick. Oh, we should put the shield and see. I think these shields are far inferior. Nobody else is capable of carrying a shield, so that's probably fine. Let's break camp and let's attack these. Auto-resolve shows a perfect victory. I'll definitely take a perfect victory. And a fair amount of loot. And a little bit of research. Alright, we finally can get to the point where we can gather some of this gold. Put my 2 best gatherers on that. Put my 2 best researchers on that. Looks like I have enough meat once again to cook something. Put my 2nd best gatherer over here, and she can help with the cooking. Okay, so maybe this is the time to check the XP, because we're going to be here for a couple turns. So she's at 2.7 XP. Is there anything that tells me about cooking? Nothing here. So 2.7 XP. Let's see how much she gains. Read this again. 2.7 of 8. End the turn. He is also a gatherer, so we'll go with gathering stat. Alright, so now go back to cooking. She's at 2.9. So she gained 0.1 experience for helping with this cooking. If I remove her from that, I'm guessing it's going to be 0.1 again, and she'll move to 3. Which means cooking doesn't seem to be a very good stat for her, but gathering does. And so anytime I can have a character gathering right now, it will help level them up. And so I want to put both of the children on gathering meat. And we'll check her stat again. So 2.9 this time. Cooking. Let's throw him over here. Alright. The traumatic events of the last few days made it clear your child is a child no more. They now face the time of the croppings, the rite of passage into adulthood. But the path is never very easy. We had 4 mysticism and a cat, and we still did not get the option to be a witch, which is unfortunate. I think we have enough crafters in our camp. Let's go ahead and get another gatherer, I guess. let's check this child's... Yeah, she went up to 3.6 that time. So this is a really good time, summer's a really good time to level up children by forcing them to gather as much as possible. Good to know. Let's check the equipment of my latest. We can take the cat off of her and give it to Baska. I'd still rather make her a witch if I have the opportunity to do so. She has a spear. Let's see, how did we roll for stats? So she's pretty even across the board. Slightly higher perception score would mean maybe a crossbow. A crossbow does 4, a spear will do 4 with the first strike. That seems better to me. That's a garbage spear. We should really just get rid of that. A spear also allows her to use a shield if we wanted to, but I think she probably doesn't have enough strength to carry a shield. This bone shield's actually pretty light. And then for armor, too heavy, too heavy, definitely too heavy, definitely too heavy. That's not too heavy for her. Alright. She's a pretty mediocre character right now. Did we get any good, like... Did she get any good effects here? She's got 1 point in that, 1 point in that, and she got hurry up. Yeah, we didn't roll very good for her. That's sort of unfortunate. I should look at crafting a wand. We're going to be here just for 1 turn, I think. No, we already were here for the 1 turn. I want to move. Okay, I want to move here because I want to get these events. But I do want to be able to collect gold. So let's break camp and let's check our movement. So I can move to there first. This is the ghost one again. I have a feeling that this one is one of those random events. So this has a chance of being good or bad. Because we always get these same 3 options when we encounter this quest. Well, I say we just kill him again. Oh my. I meant to do a manual, but whatever. This will be easy enough. We are in red combat. And my best attack is this one. I think this is better attack than this, even if they do have the 150% damage on this is not good enough to be better than the 22 we do with our bow. We'll just do something like that. Okay. So... what does this say? Dead flesh. If another skill would deal poison damage to you, which does not kill you, you will regenerate health equal to the damage received. So poison attacks actually heal these things? That's good to know. And this is the same card, I'm almost sure. I'm not sure how I can tell if it is or not. I think it's got a symbol up at the top. So maybe these are different cards. Because there's a little symbol that will mark it at the top as being a duplicate. Okay. We're definitely going to have to put something here. The question is what? Both of these are very fast. This one is actually the fastest of the attacks. So we will put him in front of it. And then I've got 1 point. This is 11 damage, 22, 22, 10. I could throw out some spiders. I'm not sure how good the spiders are. One thing I am concerned about is that they deal poison damage, and we don't want to deal poison damage to these things because they heal off of poison, so maybe not. Maybe I just save my point to play this card next turn. Or play her a second time. Let's do that. Alright, so now this is a duplicate and it's marked as purple. This makes his hammer attack much more powerful. And if we put it here, here might be even better though, because it'll discourage him from placing a card there. And if he does, then we just get more damage on it. Okay, so we've got the hammer attack. I've got 2 points, which means I can play her again. Alright, what exactly did they do? They just gained a whole crap ton of shooting, it looks like. Lower combat attributes of all enemies. Maybe that's what he played. I think that's what he played, is Overwhelm. Okay. I've got 2 points on this turn. I can play 2 cards. These things don't do very much damage. I can choose 2 targets to gain 12 shielding each. That wouldn't be terrible. I could put down a boar. A boar could soak his 3 points of damage. He's got a 9-point attack. I could put the boar here to soak that. That hammer attack hits 2 people again. Yeah, let's just do that. He's got a lot. Alright. She gets to choose her target, so... This is the slowest card of the bunch. If we can kill this card before it gets to act, we can avoid 2 points of damage. Or 3 points of damage. She's got 2 attacks. Yeah, we're not going to get through that. I thought I clicked on that one, but whatever. Yeah, that didn't go quite as well as I'd have planned. Chosen's getting beat up a little bit. Alright. He's right on the verge of having low enough health that he's going to have to roll for a death check. I think he's still above the threshold though. Yeah, just barely. So we're definitely going to want to heal up before we do any more fighting. Guess I can move here. And we can set up camp for a turn. Put my 2 best gatherers on gold. Put my child on stone. So that she's getting XP. And then this chick is pretty under-leveled at the moment, so we want her gathering as well. Probably not going to use any of this sandstone. But we are going to make maybe some heavy armor now. We don't quite have enough of some of the things that I want, but we could do something like... That's pretty good armor there, although very heavy still. It's much less heavy. Dryad wood is pretty good here. This is only 183 for 35 shielding. But that's a 17% chance of failure. Where with this, there's a 0% chance of additional failure, and it's lighter. Let's try to build this armor for our character. Yes. Let's take the hammer off and put the anvil back on. And just in case we get attacked while we're doing this. Okay. He can do this in 5 turns, but with her help he can shave it down to 3. We only have a 5% chance of a trash quality, and actually a 6% chance of a masterwork. This weighs 183 pounds. This character has about 70 pounds of carrying capacity, and if I pull this off, we can easily put 200 pounds of carrying on him, and he can still carry all of his tools or everything. So this is where we're going to put that armor once we get it made. And he's going to be really tanky after that. Then we can move this suit of armor to one of my other characters. And we'll have to decide which one deserves that, but one of my other characters will be getting this. I kind of don't want to put it on either of those characters, but maybe on her. She's... With the bone shield, she doesn't have enough. 5 and 6. 5 and 6, huh? 5 and 6 is 11, and this is 18. So yeah, it would be worth removing both of those, throwing that on her. We'll just throw this on him for the interim. Alright, and then we're going to be here for a couple of turns, so it makes sense to maybe get that. All of this is being done. So, luck or poison throwing dagger. I'm going to go with poison throwing dagger. Well, we already have 2 points into luck. Maybe we just max out luck on Olena too. Yeah, this is sort of an irrelevant skill that I kind of wish I hadn't put any points into at all. Because we have yellow challenges, we can use outmaneuver. Red challenges, we have her bow. And we also have ghostly axe. The only advantage to this is it's very, very fast attack, which does, in some circumstances, really pay off. But sure, let's go with more luck. Is anybody not doing anything? Everybody is busy at the moment, right? I don't have anything I can cook. Okay. Alright, so we made some new armor. This guy is now going to be even tankier than before. In fact, he has 61 defense when dealing with red challenges. So that's pretty darn good. I think I could take this bone jewelry off of him though, and give it to one of my other characters who sometimes gets hit. Maybe give it to Olena. She seems to be in every fight, and having just a little bit more shielding on her wouldn't be a bad idea. Plus, this works on all fights, so it will increase her shielding in non-red challenges, which is good. Alright, let's go ahead and break camp again. Check out this area. Alright. So we can sneak past them to loot the ruins, or we could use the element of surprise and attack them. I mean, I don't really think it matters all that much. They're really easy to defeat at this point. We get some blessings, and we got some equipment. An iron sword. Doesn't look like it's any better than the one that we already have. And same with the polearm. We did get a shadow bone, which is sometimes helpful. And we got some quartz. Alright. Where else do we want to move? I guess I need to move this way to get to that, so there's a bear's lair down here. And it looks like we found silver. One thing that I've been meaning to check, and I think I can only do it from in here. Composites. So we now can take gold and turn it into mithril. So gold can be turned into mithril just like steel, but we get better returns on it, which is nice. Okay. And how much gold do we have? We have 43 gold, so we need to do something with all of this. I've also got a bunch of iron that I'm not really using. The iron and the sandstone, some of these things I don't really need to carry a bunch. We are very quickly approaching our max carrying capacity here. So we need to start using up some of these heavier materials for sure. What can I craft that uses stone? Javelins. Javelins are something that I wanted to take a look at playing around with at one point. And we didn't have the stone to do it, but now we kind of sort of do. I'm 1 quartz away from being able to make something like that. Ooh, that is like right on the verge of allowing us to get an elemental javelin. Oh, that's interesting. Something that I hadn't noticed before. This elemental weapon allows you to use it in yellow-based combats. I think this probably has to do with the material. Not sure what the stone essence does. Shield leech. Okay. So if they attack an enemy with shields, 50% of the damage dealt gives us more shields. Interesting. I thought you had to remove the shields to get it, but just dealing damage with this grants shields. So I'm curious, if I build it this way, I can actually do this. there is almost a 30% chance of being trash added to my normal trash chance. But we need to use up these materials. So let's go ahead and try our first elemental weapon. Let's see if we can make that. Actually, my ability is good enough now that we're lowering this down to 24%. So that's decent. That's going to take us 3 turns. Do I have any cooking at all that I can do right now? It doesn't look like it. Yeah, we're out of spices and we're out of herbs. That's fine. Another thing we could be doing is making composites. So we could be turning, like, say, all this iron into steel, or all the iron into... I can take 8 iron and make 2 gold, or I can take 8 iron and make 4 steel. I think we're gonna just craft all this into that. I can also do the same thing with regular wood. We could start making composites and start turning regular wood into the higher tier wood. But what I really want is more gold right now, because gold can be made into mithril. I'll get 6 for every 12. Versus 2 for every 12. Yeah. So let's go ahead and confirm that. We'll put a couple people on that. That should be pretty easy work. That'll help lower our weight. One other thing before we build this, I think it's too late to stop now, but what kind of crafting tools can we make? Like, I have tons of gold. What does this look like? It's only slightly better than what we have on him right now. The trash chance is pretty high. I think what we should do is get mithril tools and work on that. Yeah. Alright, so let's get this completed. Let's get everybody else doing something. Can have you two doing research. There's actually nothing to gather at the moment, which makes me want to create another party and move ever so slightly away. These two characters aren't currently doing anything. We could transfer like 3 turns of food, maybe 5 turns of food. And then we need to transfer some wood. Let's transfer like half the wood. And then these guys have 1 point of movement. Somebody in this party has 1 point of movement, but nobody can move this turn. Never mind, rejoin the group. Alright, she's got strength. Battle orders is pretty good. Double toss, huh? Ranged attack targets any enemies unless an enemy is standing in the melee row opposite you. Regular damage. She already has 1 point in this. Yeah, it increases the damage ever so slightly, but not enough to make it useful, and it's a perception-based attack, which she's not really high in. Let's go ahead and take battle orders. This actually has some value outside of... well, it has some value in combat as a child because I can use it for cheap and give people some extra shielding. Alright, so we did get some of this. And our weight's going down a little bit, so that's good. So now we have some javelins. Let's take a look and see if we got lucky. We got decent javelins. I wanted to put them on this guy. So let's see how they compare. So normal attacks do 10 damage with this bow, but this weapon gives him both a yellow and a red attack. It's based in wisdom though, that's his worst stat. This is the character that needs that weapon. Her high wisdom makes this actually pretty reasonable. So she gets an 8 and a 6, and a 7 and a 5. And maybe that means we put this on her. It's too heavy for her to wear that. Okay. That's fine. I think I like that weapon on her better anyways. This weighs 100 pounds if I recycle this into smaller bits. It's a spear we're never going to use. That will also free up some weight for us, hopefully. We're still really close to the top, though. Alright, let's get moving. There's a boar's lair, and then there's the game over here. We already saw this. Okay, this is slightly different. You stumble across a creature lying atop a slab of stone. At first it seems to be resting, but as you close in, you see he's breathing heavily and his skin is smoldering under the sun's rays. You recognize it to be a smetek, the same one you once helped. You try to move the corpse from the stone, but he is stuck by an invisible force. He moans in pain. Leave it be. The mongrel buys broke rules. It's demon lore. Please leave. Ask what happened here. He made a pact to save his own skin. The other side paid its dues, yet its fiend sought to make trouble. Wounded pride, you see. So they're clearly speaking of our deal. Ask more of the pact and how the Zart meant to break it. He hired the services of a demon to steal from those who in his eyes disrespected him. But the Kolbuk was a loyal subject, so we were able to put a stop to his infringement. Good. We have two choices. Demon laws are sacred. Bid the farewell and leave the court to his own well-deserved fate, or no harm came to you, and this seems cruel. Demand that the demon be released. The only way to free him now will be to break whatever spell holds him. Attempt to break the magic. I'm not sure that we're capable of completing a purple challenge on any level right now, but now may be a good time to give it a try. Oh, this doesn't seem as bad as I was expecting it to be. These are actually really weak. Alright. Be wary, for if this court breaks more oaths, it will be on you. Oh boy. He looks at you with remorse, does not say anything, only bows, and then disappears. And we got another mental curse. We really need to do something about the curses. Which is, I think, what we're going to do right now. So we have 2 points. We can learn curse removal, which we should. Curse removal is going to require a lot of gems and or herbs and mushrooms. The gems we can get pretty easily. The herbs and mushrooms are a little bit more problematic, as I haven't seen too many of them. Alright. We can fight, we can agree to give up some of our things, or we can talk. Let's just fight. They're just goblins. This should be really easy to complete. And it most certainly was. We did get some mushrooms, not enough to remove a curse. Search the ruins, fight the skeletons, get some more mushrooms and some more bone-related gear, and some more granite. I'm out of movement. We are going to camp. And I want you gathering. I want somebody help you. I want you researching. We can do... We're out of iron. Okay, that's good. I could turn the rest of our wood into dryad wood. need 50 gems. I could turn some of these into gems. Let's do that. Let's turn these topaz into gems and get to 50. That'll get us the 50 we need for the ritual, which is going to be gems and crap. I'm going to have to go turn mushrooms off temporarily. Don't want you eating up my mushrooms before I've had a chance to use them, but you can eat the steaks now. We got plenty of those. Could we make a better wand? I don't have any good bone, really, but what would that look like? That's a 1.6. Is that better than the one that she has? I think it is. The witch, the one chick that our secondary crafts lady is the one using one currently. What if I used monster bone? That would get it all the way up to 1.8. Blood bone and monster bone would both get it up to 1.8. Monster bone would be a little bit easier to craft. Just out of curiosity, I can't see her equipment from here, can I? Oh yeah, here we go. Yeah, she's only at 1.4. I don't really want to use a research point though. And we're above weight capacity again? Jeez. I'm not going to make anything better than what we had, I don't think. So yeah, we need to do something here. We take a bunch of this bone and we throw it down with, say, some steel. That puts it up to 1.6. Some gold, that's also 1.6. So the steel makes more sense. Seeing as I don't have any monster bone. Put him on that, and then come back here. We'll put these two onto that. Alright. Huh. More steel, what do you know? And more heavy wood armor, things that we can't really carry. Alright, so our new gatherer finally made a level. She has the option to take +2 wits. Wits is primarily used as how quickly they act during a challenge, so it lowers her time. It allows her to take actions later in the round, but still go fairly early in the round. And she's using a spear, but perception. Perception helps gathering, which is her job. We didn't get enough points in mysticism to really make her a mystic. Speaking of which, I think... Go back to my equipment. We've already decided we're not going to get a witch out of this girl, so it makes sense to put the cat back on her. Because I think her attacks don't scale off of mysticism at all, though, do they? Yeah. Alright, does anybody have a decent mysticism? I mean, hers is 5. But that's with the cat. Alright, let's put the spider on the child. The spider on the child makes more sense. Maybe the other spider on her, because she's not likely to use her spear anyways. We're gonna have to break some stuff. Sort by weight. Okay, so the 3 or 4 heaviest things are all things we can sort of do without. So I can do without all of this Mia wood armor. I'm gonna keep the hammer because I like that. We've got a polearm, but I think we already have one. I can make better sandstone javelins than that. And the sandstone sword is pretty irrelevant. And the sandstone crafting tools are pretty irrelevant. Yeah, we'll kind of stop with that. That's got us below the mark again, so... whoops, this is not what I want to be doing. I goofed. I don't want to be making topaz, I want to be making these from topaz. That's what I wanted to do. We're trying to get 50 of these, and I think I just took a whole bunch of them and made them into topaz. Ay, ay, ay. We do have some cooking we can do. So, my cook on there. And that's better, that's what I want to see. Okay. Looks like we're an hour and 20 minutes into this video, so I think this is another good time to stop. We're not making very good progress each hour, unfortunately. I was hoping to get a little bit further than this, but I guess we did craft a few more good items, getting a little bit more combat effective. We're getting to the point where we have 7 grown-up party members, and that's, in my opinion, right around the time that you want to start looking at the potential for starting your first village, if you're going to. Part of the reason is it just takes a long time to scout the initial island sometimes, and then the other part of the reason why is 7 is the most people that you can have active in a party during a single combat session. So anybody more than 7 creates a weird random element in your fights where you get 7 cards, but that's the most you ever get during a fight. So if you have 8 people, you'll get 7 random cards, and one of them will be left out of the fight. That can be really problematic if it happens to be like your very best defender or your very best attacker. So you rarely want to have parties traveling around that have more than 7 people in them, unless they're all just like really good at combat or something. So yeah, I think we're just gonna, I'll go ahead and end this video, and we'll pick up where we left off. I may play a few turns off camera just to grind some of this out, but basically at this point what we're working towards now is upgrading our materials from tier 1 to tier 2 and 3, and then crafting some better equipment, and finally collecting the things that we need to get rid of this curse that's been plaguing us for quite some time now. Until next time, this has been The Nose Plays, and you guys have a great day.